Sheryl Crow. Find out about Woodstock 99 here on Showbiz Today.
Hi, everybody. I'm Lauren, Sydney, New York. Jim Moret is in Los Angeles. It was a sad day in Manhattan and around the world as thousands mourn the loss of JFK Jr., his wife Carolyn, and her sister Lauren. Arnold Schwarzenegger, newswoman Diane Sawyer, and Muhammad Ali joined the Kennedy and Bassett Freeman families at a private memorial service on New York's Upper East Side Friday morning. Musician Wyclef Jean, formerly of the Fugees, was the soloist at the service. JFK Jr.'s one-time girlfriend, Daryl Hannah, released a statement saying, quote, "I find it so hard to believe that John is gone. Now we must face reality and embrace the memory of his spirit and his voracious lust for life, which will live on."
After performing at the Kennedy Bassett service, Wyclef Jean is heading to Woodstock 99. He's one of many acts set to perform at the three-day music festival. Mark Shearer is there and reports that nearly 3 decades after the original Woodstock, some things have changed, others have stayed the same.
All roads leading to Rome, New York were filled with the newest Woodstock generation. Nearly 30 years after the first Woodstock Festival was held 110 miles to the east, a peace symbol of another sort stood at the gate, a B-52 bomber, like those once flown out of the former Griffin Air Force Base, now the festival site.
I don't think you can make a bigger anti-war statement than to have Woodstock at an Air Force base.
From a perch overlooking the runways, original Woodstock producer Michael Lang and partner John Scher are running the 3-day event.
You know, Woodstock is a rite of passage for people of a certain age, late teens to late 20s. And candidly, now, even 5 years after the 94 event, there's not very many acts that were at the height of their creative powers in '69 that they're very interested in.
Gate crashers are discouraged by a 12-foot-high wall that surrounds the 3,600-acre site. The campgrounds have an international flavor.
The organizers are fond of saying Woodstock is not a place, it's a state of mind. But in reality, it's a small city, complete with medical facilities, 2,000 portable toilets, and 3.6 million gallons of drinkable water.
There are many things that were unimaginable at the 1969 Woodstock, but you could still buy pot paraphernalia and charge it on your Woodstock credit card. From 2 stages, 2/3 of a mile apart, the rock music is augmented with rap, soul, and funk. As with 1969's Woodstock and the 25th anniversary concert back in 1994, the goal remains the same: 3 days of peace, love, and music. Mark Shearer, CNN Entertainment News, Rome, New York.
We are backstage now at Woodstock 99, and with us is Mickey Hart, whose Planet Drum is playing Woodstock 99. That other outfit you were with played Woodstock 1969, right?
That's as I remember, and I do remember.
What was that like when the Grateful Dead played Woodstock?
Well, we didn't have our moment. It really wasn't our day. The stage was collapsing, the PA was going out, it was raining, people were getting shocked. It just wasn't our moment.
That's what I remember, actually, because I was at Woodstock.
What was it like for you?
I had a good time, but I remember that I've always had a problem remembering your particular performance, and now I remember why.
That's right. It's forgettable.
It's fraught with problems.
Yeah.
But now, you played 94?
No.
Well, you didn't play 94. Okay, so this is the first time in 30 years you played an event called Woodstock.
Yes.
But what does this have in common with the original Woodstock, if anything, other than
It's kids coming out having fun, getting together as a community, and using music as a tool to get high, you know, and to come together. That's the kind of energy music is used for. It's a terrific event. I love it.
So it's about community, a certain amount of spiritual vibes. And
Yeah, that's what it's about. That's what, when you put 300,000 plus people together, you get a certain kind of a power in seeing your numbers and knowing, you know, that you're not alone.
What about the fact it's being held on an abandoned Air Force base?
It's invisible. Once the music starts, you know, that's the power of music. It doesn't matter where you are. If the music is right, the magic is there. Now, you see, the machinery is all here. You got the best PA, the best stage, the best lights. Not like we had in '69, which was a real kludge. But can the spirit be brought down? That's the next thing. That's what we want to see. Can the magic happen? That's the big missing element.
Well, if anybody can, it's Mickey Hart and Planet Drum. Thank you very much, Mickey.
Thanks a lot.
Have fun. And you stay tuned because we'll have more of Showbiz Today right after this.
Matthew Broderick brings cartoon character Inspector Gadget to life. Our He Said, She Said film critics did a good thing. They gave us their opinions on Eyes Wide Shut.
Here's my idea. Make my boys the Best Buy boys because they've grown up on Best Buy. When he wakes up, do I get computer time? It's amazing what they're learning. They're glued to the computer. They love to watch themselves on TV. They just are fascinated by anything that has a button on it or a dial. Technology is really a part of our daily lives.
Bringing technology home, one family at a time. Best Buy.
Now that's a great idea.
Used to be, if I want something done right, I called me. It worked. Until I tried to quit smoking. I needed more than me. I got Nicorette. Nicorette helped me two ways. I used it on a regular schedule to help prevent my cravings, and for unexpected cravings, I was ready with an extra piece. I used to be a slave to cigarettes. Nicorette helped me hang on, helped me win. Now that I'm nicotine-free, I gotta tell you, it feels good to win.
Now Nicorette is available in mint. What a refreshing choice. You can do it. Nicorette can help.
If you're in debt and have equity in your home, call Upland Mortgage. Upland solves financial problems for hundreds of homeowners every day. We find a solution to get them out of the bind. Get an easy loan from Upland. Easy Loan consolidates all your bills into one low monthly payment, saving you hundreds every month. People love making one payment each month. It's so easy. Regardless of your credit history, Upland can help. Call Upland today at 1-800-UPLAND-1. It feels great to call people and say you're approved.
Log on to CNN.com. It's more than just breaking news. It's information you can use. Get the latest on movies, music, TV, and book reviews from around the world to your desktop, wherever you are. Get it all at CNN.com.
It was a super night for the superheroes of Mystery Men. Cast members Paul Reubens and Greg Kinnear were at the Los Angeles premiere Thursday. So was co-star Hank Azaria, who brought his new bride, Helen Hunt. The comedy follows the adventures of 7 aspiring superheroes, but the job is not always that glamorous.
What'd you think of the rubber suit?
You know, it's made out of neoprene, actually, and it's got steel straplets and things, and it took literally like 30 minutes to get in and out of. It's very hot. I know there's other actors. Isn't Nicolas Cage getting ready to do like a superhero movie? All I can say is Nick, wherever you are, don't do it. Don't do it. You with me? Don't do it.
Matthew Broderick can relate. He's not a superhero, but a super sleuth in his new film, Inspector Gadget, and the part had him in some pretty outrageous outfits. Dennis Michael reports on how the special effects took center stage.
Hey, I can see my house from here.
Matthew Broderick can't really do this, but in order to play a kind of human Swiss Army knife in Disney's live-action version of the cartoon Inspector Gadget, he found himself doing things he never dreamed of doing.
I got hands that extend and my head pops off, my feet. I ran on a treadmill with stilts on my legs, with a blue screen behind me. I bounced down a street with springs on my feet, with a harness and cables and 3 stuntmen yanking me along and pulling a pulley so that I would go up and down. Like things like that, I thought, well, this will be done with blue screen or digital or something, but most of them they really did it.
Inspector Gadget tears along at breakneck speed on the screen, but on the set it was an entirely different time frame. Slow. This shot, for instance, that takes up about 10 seconds on the screen was 4 hours in the making.
They had to make a mold of this side of my face. This is just nothing, I mean, but this is just one of them. A wig to cover, because they had to make me without an ear, basically. And they had to glue that all onto my head. It took about 4 hours. Then glue on an ear, which was made from a mold of this ear. Then make an ear that was attached to a wire that ran down my back so that I could pull it out and it would go, and then it would slap back in. And a team of guys doing this all day. And then in the movie, it's just like, that's about it. That's about all you see.
And the whole movie is shot like that.
Like that.
Did it drive him out of his spring-loaded mind? Quite the contrary.
I'm a big Buster Keaton fan, and so it's fun for me to get to do some physical stuff.
Matthew Broderick is a veteran of special effects films, but Rupert Everett, who plays the villainous Claw, had never done one before. He says he discovered he liked it as well.
I was kind of sharing the acting credit with the guy from Stan Winston's office who operated the remote control of the claw. In other words, my claw punctuated a lot of what I did. I was always, in my close-ups, I'd always try and have it up by my face so that I could, you know, it could be doing some acting as well.
Oh, sure, they could be doing Shakespeare instead, but King Lear never had a scene where fireworks come out of his head. Dennis Michael, CNN Entertainment News, Hollywood.
The Wood is a new comedy drama starring Omar Epps, Taye Diggs, concerning reflections on the lives and loves of 3 Los Angeles friends on the eve of one of their weddings. Lauren Hunter spoke to the cast of The Wood.
Remember the 80s? The music, the clothes, the hair? The Wood brings it all back, a video version of a high school yearbook.
Yeah, you can dance, right? Oh, yeah. I'm like Dan Skeeter.
The Wood is the story of 26-year-old first-time director Rick Famuyiwa.
It's a love letter to the city I grew up in. It's about me, it's about my friends, it's about a lot of people.
He developed the script at the Sundance Institute and shot it in 35 days for under $6 million.
What's the Wood? It's not what you think it is. Nah, it's Inglewood, California. It's where I grew up. Me and my boys, me, Roland, and Slim.
It's a universal story. It could be Inglewood, Hollywood, Brentwood. It's just the Wood, you know, as a metaphor for just the place where we grew up. And we could be white, black, yellow, or brown. It's the same thing.
The story is told in flashbacks as one of the friends gets married. Or at least, he's supposed to get married.
We got 3 hours till this wedding kicks off, and can't nobody find him.
Tell that fool he could at least face me like a man.
Taye Diggs is the reluctant groom, attended by Omar Epps and Richard T. Jones.
When I asked her, Lisa, I kept on thinking of all the things I'd be gaining. But I never took the time to think of all the things I'd be losing.
Thank God there has been a trend in these movies that show different colors and aspects and sides to, you know, African Americans, and I'm all for it. You know, I'm very proud to be a part of something that is just more positive.
The director sees the film as a window into the male psyche with its unique testosterone-tinged edge.
Y'all just jealous, that's all. We compete on everything, and that's how it's been from the beginning, and that's how it will always be, you know. We can spit farther, you know.
Hey, Mike, I dare you to grab her booty. I will give you $1.
It's a guy.
Definitely it's a male thing.
The competition has moved to theaters, and with good opening weekend numbers on the scoreboard, audiences are cheering for The Wood. Lauren Hunter, CNN Entertainment News, Hollywood.
Cruise, Kidman, Kubrick. Secrecy surrounded the production, but now open your eyes and your ears. Our movie critics Elisa Schwartzbaum of Entertainment Weekly and Peter Travers of Rolling Stone let us know if Eyes Wide Shut is worth all the hype.
Just to see what it was that Kubrick was working on when he died so suddenly, it's worth it for that, but for an interesting, sexy story, this ain't it. I'm Lisa Schwartzbaum.
You don't get sex, you don't get genius. And I'm Peter Travers.
Celebrating a birthday this weekend is gorgeous actress and pop star Jennifer Lopez, who turns 29. Matt LeBlanc of Friends is 32, and Seinfeld's Kramer, Michael Richards, is 50.
Thomas Crown lives a double life. Here's to the fear of being trapped. Risk taker by day.
I saw him wreck a $100,000 boat because he liked the splash.
Thrill seeker by night.
Just how big of a thief are you?
Anything's attainable.
Is it more fun getting it than keeping it?
This Saturday night at a special sneak preview. Catch him if you can.
Just go!
The Thomas Crown Affair. Rated R. Sneak preview Saturday.
As we age, our joints can make simple actions more difficult. But now you can help support the flexibility of your joints with pain-free glucosamine and chondroitin. Pain-free helps rebuild and protect joint cartilage. Move better, feel better with pain-free from Chef.
There's a better way to toast us up. Quiznos Oven Baked Classics.
Joe and Phil both know an important call can come at any time. Because he's a courteous guy, Joe's turning his cell phone off. Phil's leaving his on, which isn't going to win him any popularity contests. But Joe has SkyTel, so even when he turns his cell phone off, a SkyTel operator converts the caller's message to text and sends it right to his pager. So while Joe is looking at the movie, Phil is looking for the exit. SkyTel puts you in control. Can your pager do that?
Catch him if you can. The Thomas Crown Affair, starring Pierce Brosnan and Rene Russo. How do you get the man who has everything?
Think you'll get me?
Oh, I hope so.
Enter the Thomas Crown Affair sweepstakes, and you could win a trip or two to Martinique, a 4-piece set of Toomey luggage, or other prizes. Look for details in Premiere Magazine. And join Jim Moret and Lauren Sidney weekdays at 4 Eastern for CNN Showbiz Today. The Thomas Crown Affair, in theaters August 6th.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, yes.
This weekend, you can catch The Godfather on television. No, not the Academy Award-winning film, but a 2-part miniseries about Mafia chieftain Joe Bonanno. Barbara Cameron explains how this show takes us on the inside.
But America has a very distorted view of our world. Mafia is a process, not a thing.
The story of Joe Bonanno and the Mafia unfolds over 2 nights in Bonanno, a Godfather story. It's executive produced by an author who lived through it.
I went to my father, and I said, this is what I want to do. And he, first words out of his mouth were, are you going to hurt anybody? And I said, yes. He says, who? I says, you. You're the only one alive today that I could possibly hurt. He looked at me and he said, go for it.
So first a book, now a miniseries about Joe Bonanno, seen here in 1982. The reputed leader of a New York crime family ran the show for almost 4 decades and is now 94 years old, living in Arizona.
Men must also be wary of violence, because once a man resorts to violence, he must accept that violence can be used against him.
The special follows Bonanno from his birth in Sicily, moves through Prohibition, 30s gang wars, politics. Martin Landau is the oldest of 4 actors playing Bonanno and the narrator.
He actually rubbed shoulders with presidents and leaders of countries and the head of the FBI and, Joe Kennedy, ambassadors. In the wake of Lucky Luciano's deportation, a power struggle within his family began. And New York City was like a firecracker that could go off at any time.
Edward James Olmos plays one of Joe Bonanno's key allies, Salvatore Maranzano.
Most of these people have been well documented and not by themselves. So you get a pretty good strong look, at who they are.
But the idea of a Bonanno miniseries may rile up some law enforcement officers. Should convicted criminals be able to make a TV program?
Well, I don't know. I need a definition of a criminal. See, I don't... a criminal by your definition may not be a criminal by my definition.
Bill Bonanno concedes his version does have his spin.
Well, of course I'm rationalizing. Don't we all rationalize about our lives? Don't we all see things in our own way?
Bonanno has its own moral code. Paul Verkaman, CNN Entertainment News, Hollywood.
Nicolas Cage is taking his own tour of the underworld in the film 8mm. That's just one thriller coming to video this weekend. Dennis Michael has a look.
8 days ago, during a transmission from the Mir space station, something came onto the ship. It took control of computers.
Now, that could be a good reason not to get one of those digital satellite dishes. Not for fear of a spaceborne electronic invader trying to destroy the world, but concern over the possibility that you'll see Virus on Showtime. Jamie Lee Curtis and cast battle an alien intelligence that makes its weapons out of spare parts, mechanical and otherwise. It's kind of like how they wrote this movie.
This thing I'm on right now has something to do with underground pornography, stuff that's sold under the counter illegally.
Nicolas Cage heads into the heart of darkness, seeking the truth behind a scrap of snuff film footage in 8mm. This is by the writer behind 7, and unfortunately, it's about as uplifting. See you at the rental counter. Dennis Michael, CNN Entertainment News, Hollywood.
Next week, it's the reunion of that pretty woman, Julia Roberts, and her Richard Gere. This time, she's a runaway bride. And Chris Isaak, Wicked Ways and Bad Bad Things help renew interest in the hunky singer's music.
Baby, it's a bad, bad thing. You ever love someone so much?
Sunday on CNN and Time, her dramatic emails captured the horror of war.
At the moment I am writing to you, just from my balcony, I can see people running with suitcases, and I can hear some gunshots. I wish I could live in peace like you do. Take care. Adona, Kosovo.
Now in her first interview, the girl known as Adona shares her story of survival. CNN and Time, Sunday 8, 7 Central on CNN. Sunday on CNN Perspectives.
Godspeed, John Glenn.
His orbit around the Earth launched a new era in space exploration. Then his return to space captured the hearts of millions.
John Glenn is an American hero.
Now an intimate and revealing look at the life and times of one of America's most celebrated astronauts.
To look out at this kind of creation and not believe in God is to me impossible.
The John Glenn story, Return of the Hero, CNN Perspectives, Sunday, 9 Eastern on CNN.
Itchy allergic rash? The dermatologist I work for recommends Cordate. It stops the itch and helps heal the rash to restore your skin. There's no brand doctors recommend more. In fact, doctors recommend Cordate more than 4 to 1 over cortisone 10. Cordate, restore your skin.
Technology has hit the new millennium. You in control of our newest star.
That's it, I quit.
Premier tunes, cartoons, football. Only on CartoonNetwork.com.
Cyberspace Whiz Kids, online original. Know what Jerry Yang has planned for Yahoo's future. Know how Yahoo stays ahead of the competition on the information superhighway. The Moneyline News Hour, tonight, 6:30 Eastern. You are what you know.
We are out of time for now, but for your weekend dose of showbiz, won't you please join Bill Tush for Showbiz this weekend, where he will tee off with the Baldwin brothers at the 2nd annual Carol Baldwin Celebrity Golf Tournament. Till then, our game is over for now. We'll see you next time in New York. I'm Lauren Sidney.
In Los Angeles, I'm Jim Moret. We leave you now with the godfather of soul, James Brown, who kicked off Woodstock '99. Have a great weekend.